I have been waiting for a really long time for Damara here to lay a clutch. And she finally did, but it didn't go well. And then there were some more challenges. We're going to talk about them. Welcome to the Green Room. I'm Bob Bledsoe. If you watch my channel regularly, you're probably familiar with Damara. She is what some people might consider my least cool, genetically cool snake, but she might be my coolest snake as far as just a pal to have around your neck and spend time with. I really love her. And she's huge, and so I was hoping that she would help me prove out the inspector's genetics this year in laying a clutch of his babies. And really, you know, she's just a pinstripe, but the inspector is a 4, maybe 5 gene animal. And so when you have all those genes in the mix, just pairing him with a 1 gene animal, or even with a normal, would have been a good thing to prove out those genes. And maybe we'll get to do it in a year or so. I don't know. But anyway, say hello to my brother behind the camera, who, you know, at this point should be getting more comfortable with snakes, but he's not. That's right. Hi, everyone. I have something that I'd like to say about this, and Mom made me write it down so I wouldn't say anything insensitive. I understand you were looking forward to a thing, and that thing didn't go the way you expected. I'm sorry that something didn't go the way you wanted it to. Don't say anything bad about snakes, and wear a clean shirt for once. Oh, I read the additional instructions. I wasn't supposed to... Dang it. Well, I appreciate the effort, Kent, and I'll have to thank Mom for helping you out with that. So Damara here took a really long time to ovulate, and she went much later in the season than I expected her to go. And on September 13th, she laid 9 eggs. One of them was a boob egg with hardly any veins that's in the incubator right now, but I'm not sure how it's going to do. And the rest were slugs. She basically slugged out, which is unfortunate. The one that's in the incubator, in fact, I haven't seen in a week or so. Let's maybe check on that together. Okay, let's just do this really quick from my phone before Damara crawls off my neck. There's the egg. It looks okay from that side. Well, that doesn't look good. I don't think that one's going to survive. I'm going to keep it in here for a little bit longer, but I don't think that looks good. That is a bummer about that egg, but it's what I expected. I actually would be shocked if that egg went to term and hatched out a snake, but I wanted to give it a chance anyway in the incubator. So let me take a moment really quick to thank some Patreon supporters. You know, I just started my Patreon page, and a handful of people have jumped in already, which I really appreciate. In Tier 2, you get your name in the end credits of my videos. That's one of the perks. And since, you know, it's a new Patreon and there are enough people to fit on this board, I'm just going to write the names on the board right now in these videos until I have to go to the end credits with a scrolling page. I think this is better. Anyway, so thanks so much to those of you who have jumped in on Tier 1 and jumped in on Tier 2 and are helping out the channel. We're going to be able to do a lot of really cool things as a result of that. The link for Patreon is in the description. So when Damara was finished laying her clutch, she was pretty adamant about guarding that pile of slugs. And so I pulled her off of them and got her washed up with Dawn dish soap and got all that egg smell off of her and changed out her tub so she had a fully clean tub, which, you know, hopefully would snap them out of mama mode. And she hasn't eaten in a long time, so I was hoping that I could get her to eat in the next, you know, couple days. So I tried to feed her, and she refused. And then she refused the next week. And then she refused the next week. And then I tried a few days later, and she refused. So I started to realize that she wasn't moving much from being curled up in that warm end where she was with the eggs. And she might still be in mama mode. So one day I pulled her out of the tub and just set her on my lap. And I thought, I'm going to let her explore. So in the mornings, a lot of times I open up 3 tubs. This is just a little 3-tub rack with these mamas, and I let Freya usually comes out. She has been lately, and Lucille can come out if she wants to. And then I try to get Damara to come out, but she hasn't come out on her own. So I brought her out, put her in my lap, and she eventually crawled off my lap and looked like she was exploring the room. But when she got to the rack, she popped her head in Freya's tub, which was open. Freya was still in her hide. And, tongue flicked a little bit. Then she went up to the next rack, popped her head in Lucille's tub. Lucille was in her hide as well. And tongue flicked a bit. Then she went up to her tub on the top, tongue flicked, and moved right in there. So that tells me 2 things. Number 1, super smart. She found her home and put herself away. She's never done that before. So that was cool, but it also confirmed that she is absolutely still in mama mode and still thinks that she has eggs that she's responsible for. So what I did then is I went, okay, she needs a complete tub change, because I left her tub the way I had it configured before, which was that I had pulled her 2 hides out a few months back because I expected her to get bigger than her hides, and I was like, she just needs more room. So all she had was Repetid chip, a water bowl, and hides. And even though the new tub was clean and it was all brand new chip and everything else, it was still the same configuration. So I dumped the Repetid chip and got her hides out. I put her on paper with 2 hides. And that seemed to do the trick. She now is moving from one hide to the other to thermoregulate, and she's coming out occasionally. Although she still knows how to find her own tub, so she'll come out for a while and wander around, and then she'll put herself back, which I think is so smart. But she still refused some food. So the other day, I went to feed her, and she refused. I was trying to give her just a small rat. She takes mediums. Usually, when she's really on food, she takes mediums, but I was trying to give her just a small, and she refused. So I took a chance and pulled out a couple of jumbo mice from the freezer and thawed those out for her. And I offered a jumbo mouse, and she took it. So then I scented the small rat that I was trying to offer before. I scented that with the other jumbo mouse once she was finished with it, and I offered that, and she took it. And then she ate that second jumbo mouse. So she ate 2 jumbo mice, which are little bite-sized snacks for her, and a small rat, which is still a pretty small meal for her, but it's decent. It's not bad. I just looked over my shoulder and realized that Echo wasn't on the rock that she was on before, and it scared me. At some point, she's climbed up to the top ledge, which is out of frame right now, but I just looked, she's up there. When did she climb? I didn't see her climbing. I'm going to have to go back and look at the tape. Maybe she did it when it wasn't rolling. Anyway, you can go back and look if you didn't see her climbing. We'll see if we can see it. That's where Echo went. So, it's a bummer when you watch a mama go through what they go through to build follicles. They go off food for months at a time and try to give you a clutch of eggs, and then it's all slugs. That's unfortunate. But the key now is to get her back on food regularly, which I don't think will be a problem. She's really a good eater normally. And get her back to sort of her old self, where she's wandering around the place and sitting in my lap and watching a movie with me. I don't think she actually watches the movie, but she falls asleep in my lap. And oh, you guys, Kent has a Kent's Corner. Let's watch Damara look at the camera for a second. Oh my gosh, she loves the camera. Okay, let's cut to Kent's Corner. Don't ever let a snake get that close to the camera again. Jeez. Now let's cut to my corner. Hi, I'm Kent, and you're watching me talk to you from the corner that is named after me, Kent's Corner. Today, I want to tell you how I deal with adversity. Believe it or not, some things in my life haven't gone the way I planned. As many of you know, I once had a goal to marry Lisa Left Eye Lopez of the greatest band in the world, TLC. But unfortunately, on April 25th, 2002, Lisa was tragically killed. Eventually, I just readjusted my goals and I set my sights on my childhood crush, Who's the Boss temptress Alyssa Milano. But eventually I realized all I was going to get from Alyssa is restraining orders. And not the cute, funny joke ones. They were actually serious. So she's obviously a little bit crazy. But I just keep my head up and keep moving forward, you know? If anybody knows Flo from the Progressive commercials, you can let her know that I'm not interested in Alyssa Milano anymore. Thank you for watching Ken's Corner, the greatest TV show that you can watch on the internet. The best sensation. Internet sensation. Some solid advice, as always, Kent. I will try to move forward, hopefully without involving a celebrity security team. So, you guys, I think Damara is well on her way to bouncing back. I don't know if I'm going to pair her again next year or not. I might give her the year off. I've got 5 or 6 months to make that decision. But she seems to be doing well. You know, the other thing is this might be a fertility issue with the inspector, because I paired him with Lucille, Freya, and Damara this year, and it doesn't look like Lucille's even going to go this year. I don't think she's going to lay a clutch. Freya stopped locking with the inspector after a while, so I used Ron as a backup, and she ended up having Ron's clutch. And then Damara here laid this clutch of slugs. So it might be a problem with the inspector. So I guess we'll find out next year when I pair him with somebody. So we will not be proving out the inspector's genetics this year, which, by the way, is the whole reason that I started this breeding operation to begin with, is I just wanted to see what genetics the inspector had. I was curious. But that's okay. I'm loving the process, and I'm really glad that I jumped into it. This is great. I have lots of plans down the road, and it's fantastic. But you guys, at this point, I'm only 33% successful as a breeder. Do you see why you shouldn't listen to my breeding advice, or why I don't even give breeding advice? So, but that's why, is because I'm just not experienced enough with breeding snakes to give you guys advice on how it's done. But there are a lot of people on the internet that are experienced, and you can watch their videos. By the way, on that note, the fact that I'm not getting babies from Lucille this year puts a little kink in some plans that I had made, because I was hoping to produce a boy from Lucille that was het pied that I could use for another snake that I'm working on. And that's not going to work out. So I had to make a purchase, and I did it yesterday. And you're going to see that unboxing very soon. So that's it, you guys. That is the update on Damara and her clutch, and Lucille. And if you want to see Freya's clutch update, the one successful clutch of babies that I hatched out, that is in last week's video. I'll put it up here. But anyway, thanks for watching. Dear Stephanie Courtney, aka Flo, I have always been passionate about home, auto, and life insurance. That's something we have in common. What's your favorite color? Mine's blue. And white. And white. Even though robots are terrifying, I wasn't hardly scared of robot Flo.